world full of Uniteds.
It is a magic moment from Heung-min Son!
Cities.
Through to Lucas Moura!
And Rovers.
Harry Kane! Oh, what a goal!
There is only one Hotspur.
It's glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur!
Hello and welcome back to the One Hotspur podcast. I'm Tobey from Sports Center, and today I am joined by the wonderful Bodhi and the wonderful Max. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
We're coming to you pretty much straight after that win against Man City. What a way to make your first game in charge for Nuno, eh?
Yeah.
Just really hit the ground
simply
running.
incredible. Yeah. I think we're just gonna start off here. I want to talk about Tanganga. I mean, what a monster performance from him during the game. I mean, you just watch him, and I think during the first half, I think it was the first half, he wasn't dribbled past once. So that's incredible. But yeah, what do you guys think of Bodhi? What do you think of Tanganga's performance?
I'm still confused as to why Spurs were considering loaning him out. I mean, today just proves why he is the best right back that we've got. I mean, I can't lie, Doherty was good when he came on as well, but Tanganga was different today. Like, that was even better than his debut when he played against Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree.
That was even better than that. I mean, constantly had Sterling and this so-called £100 million player in his pocket the whole game. I mean, he was absolutely incredible today. Like, didn't put a foot wrong. And I tell you what, I think he should be our starting right back. Like, I know I shouldn't start. Like, I know it's one game, but to be fair, we did just beat the reigning
Manchester City
without Ndombele, without Harry Kane. It just shows, like, all you need is like hard work, a great defense, and you just need to take your chances against teams like City, and we did that today. But yeah, Tanganga was fantastic today, and he was aggressive as well, which is what we needed at the back.
I think he definitely done his homework. He definitely thought, okay, yeah, Grealish, he likes drawing a lot of fouls, so I'll put in a foot in every now and then, but for the most part, I'll stay back and let Højbjerg kill him from behind, and then just Sterling just all over him everywhere. So aggressive, and just as soon as he wins the ball back, it's not like he passes back to the keeper. It was just straight up win the ball and just charge forward. It was such a fight. It was amazing to see, and it not only while defensively he was that was where he was strongest today. Offensively as well, he added a lot. He posed a threat. While the players didn't get on the end of any of his chances that he created, he definitely looked like he was threatening the team. Another player I'd really like to give a massive shout out to is Skip. He was incredible. Him and White, something special, honestly. And the 4-3-3, I'll admit, that's one of the things I was completely wrong about. I didn't think 4-3-3 was the way to go, but after this preseason, skipping Højbjerg together and then having Delia, Lo Celso, or Ndombele, whoever it is, in the center of the park, the way they were playing, it was so nice to see. And then it's the 4-3-3 is really supporting Bergwijn and Moura, who are really starting to shine at the minute. So it's this. Nuno has definitely took the players that we've got at the minute, and he's came up with the most attacking philosophy that he can with the players that he has, and he's only going to get. I reckon he's only going to sign more players. I could see him signing another 2-3, to be honest. And
the thing is, today, sorry, I just want to say really quickly. They were all players that we already had. Like, no Christian Romero, no Brian Heel, no Pierluigi Golini, no new signings. It's all players that we already had at the club. So, like, I think that just shows that there's a lot more to come, when Nuno can sign players that he wants, and we can get those signings that we've already made into the team. I think that just shows that, other teams should take notice and, be a little worried because, we don't want to get too carried away, but that was a wonderful performance. And, I've seen people saying like, haven't seen a Spurs team this energetic, probably since the Maurizio Pochettino days. But just, every time City moved forward, there was 2 or 3 Spurs players that were aggressive and up to the task of marking him. I think Tanganga and Skip are 2 excellent examples of that. But Max, what do you think of just the overall tenacity of the Spurs players today?
Yeah, as you said just now, like that performance reminded me of the Pochettino days, like a young team full of aggression, and also I think Lo Celso did a good job when he came on as well, because in the first half, like we looked dangerous on the counter attack, but we were lacking quality in the midfield. Like I can't lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Denny and Skip were brilliant second half, but they had to grow into the game. I think for the first 10, 15 minutes, both of them were quite poor, but both of them grew into the game. But still, like we need like an upgrade on like some like midfield quality to create some chances. And when the Celso came on, you notice how City had to come on the counter attack, and we were the ones who were creating the chances. The complete opposite to the first half when City were dominating for the first 15 minutes. The game of 2 halves, really. Like in the first half, City started way better, but the second half we started way better. So it's for me, it's like a game of 2 halves. But since the 20th minute, we were on top. Like from minute 20 to minute 90, we were the much better team. I think City had chances, but that's been the same story with all of our wins at the Spurs Stadium. City can have all the possession, it's cool. Like once you have a good defense and you're dangerous in the counter attack, and you're ruthless, you take your chances and you come away with a 1 or 2 nil win. It's cool, but and another shout out. I thought I'm gonna say Tango's man of the match, but the other 3 defenders, Dyer, Sanchez,
excellent,
were also brilliant today. Like. I mean, I've said it since last season. Like, whenever I see Dyer and Sanchez in the team, like it's pretty much like a mistake waiting to happen. But today, they surprised me. Like Dyer was magnificent, and that Sanchez tackle in the last minute of the game when City were coming forward,
beautiful.
That's probably his best moment of the game, to be honest. That's
probably the best moment of his Spurs career.
I think, you know what I think with them too. I feel like they just had a good game. Obviously you wouldn't want to move forward with them. And the main reason why is I am quite shocked. I knew Dyer was going to be okay at least, but I am shocked with Sanchez because usually he's the most mistake-prone defender we have. He didn't make a single mistake that game. Him and Tanganga were just insanely good. Like Sanchez was better than Diaz that game.
Yeah, I mean, he was just absolutely rock solid. I mean, all forward defenders really. I mean, I'm sure.
And this is what I just want to finish. Sorry. This is what I'm saying is that for me, Dyer, right? For the whole game, he was solid, right? But in the first 20 minutes, when you talk about how City was for catching us off guard, how good they were from the 20th minute, and then from there on we were better. I think Dyer was the most worrying defender in the first 20 minutes, and then once he showed up, that's when we really start to look good. And then you're just thinking, if you have someone like Romero playing next to Sanchez with how good Romero can be, and then if Sanchez was playing like that consistently, then he'd be one of the best defenders in the Prem. I don't know where he's brought this from, and I don't know why he hasn't brought this before, but I mean, now's a better time than ever, so I hope to see more of that from him if he's going to be playing. That's
kind of always been the thing with Sanchez, to be fair, is he'll play like 89 minutes of game to perfection, like just like wonderful, and then he'll have a moment where he makes a diving headed own goal, I really like Sanchez. I'd like him to succeed, but if we get an offer this summer or before the window closes, I still think we should let him go and replace him. And I think, honestly, Dyer could be a good partner to Romero, because when Dyer is on form, and I said this last season too, when Dyer is on form, Tottenham are a fantastic team. You look at it, and when Dyer was on form, we were top of the league. And then as soon as he dropped off, that's when we dropped off. So maybe that'll change this season with Romero. And if he's able to stay more steady, then we can, keep that form up and keep that consistency up. But if Dyer can, keep what he played like today, alongside Romero, or Joe Rodon, depending on when he comes in, and if he's going to start under Nuno, it's exciting to see,
Yeah.
But I also wanted to give a shout out. We were talking about Telly a little earlier, and yeah, you basically said this, but I was a little worried about him starting in the first place, and then after the first half, I was calling for a Gio to get subbed on for him. But in that second half, he really bounced back. Maybe offensively he didn't do a whole lot, but defensively he was winning the ball back a ton and getting it up to the players like Bergwijn and Lucas and Son. And Lucas is another one I want to talk about. Like, he was just excellent. His dribbling is just next level. Max, you want to talk about Lucas a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, Lucas is one of the more disrespected players of the club, and I'd say behind Kane and Son, he is my favourite player, but by a country mile, just because of the way he fights for every ball and the way he moves forward every time. Like, say for example, if I was a Man City fan today, I supported Man City, and I saw Lucas Moura running at my defence with the ball, I'll be shitting myself. Like,
yeah.
The thing, Lucas looks so dangerous when he comes forward with the ball. I mean, sometimes he gets his shot or his final pass wrong. Like, he did that a couple of times in the second half, like at the start of it before the goal. But overall, like, I'd say behind Tanganga, Lucas was the second best player in my opinion. Like, I'm not trying to put other players down. Like, everyone had a fantastic game, but I'd say Tanganga and Lucas were the two best players. Like, Lucas works so hard, and it's just a shame that he's one of the more like disrespected players because in my opinion he's one of our best players. Like, Lucas was our best player in pre-season. We knew that already. But yeah, for him and Son and Deddy, especially in the second half, really stepped up today, and that's really good to see.
Someone else I think is one of my favorite players, and maybe is a little over disrespected. I mean, he earns some of his criticism, or he earns a lot of his criticism, to be fair. But I really like Steven Bergwijn. And, he got an assist today. He probably should have scored, but I think today would be a good confidence boost for him to, get a win over Manchester City. You get your first start in the first game under the new boss, and you get an assist. So, I mean, it wasn't like a beautiful assist or anything. Son did most of the work for his goal, but I'd like to see Stevie B push on. He had a good goal in preseason against Chelsea, so I think he could be a big player for us. Once he gets his confidence and once he starts to get going, I think he's one of the most dangerous players that Tottenham have. You look at the goals he's scored, and although there's few, they're not tap-ins. He had the one tap-in against Wolves, but the goal against Manchester City, beautiful control off the chest and then volley. Goal against Manchester United, taking on Harry Maguire and then putting it in the back of the net. The goal against Aston Villa, winning it off a defender, pushing his way through, 2 or 3 more, and then volleying it top corner. So he has the potential to be such an excellent player, and I really think he could fulfill that potential. But I guess only time will tell with him.
I've always said this with Bergwijn. Like, I've always said it with Bergwijn. Like, Bergwijn's only going to be that player we want him to be with a run of games. Like, I'd say throughout the Christmas period, he was starting every game. I'd say, would you say that around that time when we were in the top of the league, he was starting every game? He started against Arsenal, Chelsea, City. Yeah, so he started those games. But then after the Liverpool game, when he missed those sitters, you can tell his head dropped big time.
Yeah,
big time. But the thing is, Bergwijn was good pre-season as well, and I've always said this with Bergwijn. With a run of games, he can really gain his confidence and be a very, very good player. And all we need to do is up his end products, because his dribbling and pace and he works hard as well. Same with Lucas Moura. Defensively, he was solid today as well. And obviously, he got the assist for Son's goal, which wasn't like incredibly special assist. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't a 40-yard pass. He just passed it to Son. It was a great finish, but I'm not putting that down. Like, he was still an assist away. And I hope that builds up his confidence. I would go with the same team against Wolves next Sunday as well, 100%. I'll go with the same team.
Yeah,
plus
I think.
Plus Romero instead of Sanchez or Dyer. That's the only change I'd make, to be honest. And maybe Dombe or Gio in there, maybe. But I wouldn't make too many changes from today's win, 100%. I wouldn't do it.
I think honestly, I wouldn't make any changes apart from Romero in, because our next game is against Watford, I believe. Or well, we have the game against Paco de Ferreira on Thursday, and then we play Wolves. But we play Wolves, not Watford. So yeah, I think I would make a change of putting in maybe Lo Celso for Skip and then Romero in for Sanchez. But overall, each of the players really earned their spot. And the only reason I would put Lo Celso in for Skip is because against Wolves, you would expect us to be more on the front foot than we were against Manchester City. But
no, I'd swap Lo Celso for Dele. I'd keep Skip and Højbjerg. The two of them are too solid to bench. That despite the fact that yes, we should be on the front foot, but realistically, the Wolves are a team that can catch out when you least expect it. So you need to have your defense. You want to set up exactly the same, minor a few changes. Maybe Romero. I'd have Romero and Lo Celso on for Dyer and Dele. But other than that, you'd want to go in with the same team as last time and the same attitude as last time. You want to be in for every challenge, and you also want to be playing. You'd actually want to be playing a deeper line if Adama Traore's on, because with his pace, he can catch any team off guard. So while I agree with what most of what you say, I think Skip and Højbjerg together are a must for the entire season, honestly.
See, but I don't think that gives us enough of a creative outlet. And the reason I say I would keep Dele on is because I think he's very similar to Bergwijn in that he just kind of needs an arm around the shoulder and tell him how good he is and get him that run of minutes for him to really hit form. So I think if Nuno just shows a bit of faith in him, by giving him a run in the team at the beginning of the season, I think that could help Dele get back to some form. I'm not going to say get him back to his best because his best is just so far away realistically from where he is now. But I think this could be potentially a good season for Dele. If he keeps working hard off the ball, it'll come. It's his good season with us. It was all instinct, and he still has it. He just needs to kind of unlock it, if you know what I mean. So I think I would give it to Dele and then give Lo Celso a start as well, and then I'd imagine Skip will probably start alone in that holding midfield role against Paco de Ferreira. But yeah, who do you guys think are going to play against Paco de Ferreira on Thursday? I'd imagine Brian Hill, probably Romero will get starts. But what would you guys say?
Wait, what did you say? Who play against who?
Paco de Ferreira.
I'd say you definitely fancy to see Galini, Gil, and Romero, all three of them playing. For the lineup, I'd go for Galini, Sessegnon, Romero, Rodin, Doughty, and then Skip and Winks, and then all Winks and Højbjerg. Then you go for Bergwijn. Who else? Dele, Gil, and Scarlett probably.
And something to keep in mind here too is this is a two-legged knockout round. So we do there is pressure on us to win both of the games, to be honest. But now would be a great time for someone like Carlos Vinicius. If only we had him this season as well. Throw him up there. But yeah, I think we don't really have any choice but to play Scarlett. We can't play Son in every single game, and who knows what's happening with Kane. Maybe he starts. But we can't play Son as striker every single game, especially with whatever's happening with Harry Kane, like I just said. So our attacking options are a little limited now that Kane's whatever's happening with him and Lamelo's gone, and Sessegnon is a left back now. So it's just, I think it'll be a little tricky. Maybe we see Lo Celso playing like a winger role like he did at the end of the game against City. But yeah, I think overall it should be a pretty comfortable game. And if it's not, then we have some real trouble. Maybe we see one of the academy players or a few called up as well. Max, who do you want to see feature against Paco?
Well, obviously make a lot of changes. I'd start Brian Hill, like you said. To be honest, I was expecting him to come on today, actually.
Yeah, as
For
was I.
maybe Lucas or Son or Delhi, something like that. But obviously
Mhm.
Romero came on. I was expecting Hill to make an appearance today off the bench, but yeah, definitely start him.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. Actually, no, I wouldn't start Romero. I would start him against Wolves instead, and start maybe like Joe Roden or someone against whoever we're playing on
Mhm.
Thursday. Um, who else? I'm not sure. Maybe start Bergwijn again. But at the same time, I still want to play Bergwijn against Wolves as well. Yeah, keep Dyer and maybe start Sergio Aurier or Matt Doherty at right back and play Tanganga against Wolves as well.
Yeah.
Maybe start Ben Davis at left back as well instead of Reguilon.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan maybe.
It's so interesting now because we have Ben Davis, Sergio Reguilon, and Ryan Sessegnon. So it'll be interesting to see how Nuno balances the minutes between the three of them.
Yeah, I forgot about Ryan Sessegnon as well. He's back as well, isn't he? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe I'd start a few academy players in the middle as well. Niall
Yeah.
John maybe, Dan Bartlett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, like I want to have a couple first team players in there as well, just to make sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, like I need to be young and fresh academy players, get some fresh legs on the pitch, and then we go again against Wolves next Sunday. So yeah, like, I'd make a few changes, in particular to the defence, but at the same time, you've got to have a couple of first team players in there just to make sure.
Yeah, I agree. No, I'm thinking about it though, and I think we could go with maybe three center defenders. Ben Davis playing on the left, maybe Joe Rodon, and then Christian Romero, just to get him some quality minutes before he gets his first start in the Premier League. And then on the right, Doherty or Aurier. I think preferably Doherty because I just want to get Aurier out. It's no good having a player who doesn't want to sign a contract in the club and running his contract down. So that gives us, some minutes for Doherty, some minutes for Davis, and then you can play Sessegnon so that both Davis and Sessegnon get minutes. And then in the middle, probably Skip to get him minutes since I don't think he'll be featuring against Wolves. And then, maybe let's also, depending on what Nuno's plans for the midfield are, and then up top, I think starting Charlotte makes sense. And then getting Gil some minutes, and then either Lucas or Bergwijn on the other side. But yeah. Is there any other players you guys want to talk about from the Man City game? Or I feel like we've kind of moved on from that. Don't think there's been any big transfer news from the past week or so that we can talk about. But we can talk about Dusan Vlahovic. Been a lot of links with him. If we sell Kane, or even if we don't sell Kane, would you want to see us go for him?
No,
No.
personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to see him join because he gives me, just based on his physical attributes, he gives me vibes of like Vinicius, and to me personally, it feels like he wouldn't, if we paid the big money for him, he just feels like someone that wouldn't do very well. I would have preferred Lautaro Martinez, but because of the fact that he's going for so much now, or he's essentially impossible to buy. I'd want to go for Patrick Bamford if Kane was to leave. Personally, I think he's a good striker, out and out, very clinical, and despite his age, he's quality, and you'd get him for a pretty good price. I'd say about 20 mil, something like that.
No, I think
so.
I think they'd ask for at least 30. But yeah, I think if we do get rid of Kane, it makes sense to get two strikers to replace him, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, and then have a situation like I don't know, Vincent Janssen or Clinton Nagy or Roberto Salvato, and then we're stuck having to play Son as striker for the rest of the season. So yeah, I think bringing in two makes sense. I like Vlahovic, but if we do bring him in, he's more of a poacher. He doesn't really create too many opportunities just for himself. So if we were to bring him in, I'd like to see us sign like a more creative midfielder, and probably a right winger as well as a second striker. So that might be tricky to do with the theoretical 150 million we would get for Kane. But any other topics you guys want to cover today?
No, I'm good for now.
Yeah. All right. Here I think just really quickly, I wanted to cover some of our loan players. Keon Atete scored a brace for Northampton Town against Coventry in his debut for the club, and they won the game 2-1. So good to see him getting a good start with them. And then Troy Parrott, he got a goal. Unfortunately, MK Dons did lose that game, but it's good to see him get an early goal. As I think last season he only scored one. He scored I think maybe two, but yeah, just overall, it's good to see him starting to hit a little bit of form. And Jamie Bowden, who was on loan at Oldham Athletic, made his debut on last Saturday, and also played in their Carabao Cup fixture against Tranmere, won player of the match in that game. So good to see some of our academy players out there getting some good minutes and doing their job. So Bodhi, any other things you want to cover today? Or wrap it up? All right. Well, thank you for listening. We appreciate all of you. We'll see you in the next one. And we have a video on Oliver Skip coming out as soon as our editor finishes making the thumbnail for it. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you for listening. As always, remember to follow us on at One Hotspur Pod on Twitter and on Insta. And if you're interested in joining the podcast, send me a DM. It's at _Spurs Center. We're looking for a couple new members. So thank you for listening as always, and we'll catch you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.